Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, my job was to play a 200-foot game and be responsible on both ends of the ice and, chip in offensively. And, I thought I've done a, pretty good job at, being responsible on my own end and, somewhat creating some offense with my line mates. And I think it was good. I used my physicality, which was one thing I wanted to work on this year, coming in bigger and stronger. So I wanted to use that as my advantage, and I thought finishing hits when I was able to, and just being solid overall, being a 200-foot centerman. I think that was a big thing focusing on this year. I think it just kind of play. I think I know how to analyze my game at this level and at the age I'm at and the hockey I've played. I think I've been able to analyze it, and obviously I got a lot of people back home, trainers, and I guess people who look after me and watch my games who who give me advice and who help me out when I'm on the ice. So I just try to take the advice when people give it to me, and I take some and I leave some, and I know for myself what I can bring and what kind of game I can play on the ice and when I'm at my best.
I'd like to say that you don't want to necessarily look at someone's birth certificate. I really would. I don't think that's always true. I think what's best for guys' development matters. And so if a young guy's going to come and he's going to play fourth line minutes for us and not be on any specialty teams, and he could be on both specialty teams and play way more in GR. Organizationally, I think those decisions are generally pretty easy. He should he should be in GR, and then it also gives you more depth for when you have injuries. My message to players that want to grab spots here is don't be just as good as somebody, be way better. And there's always room for guys that look like they're great players right now that can really help you right now. There's always room for those players. There was room my first year with Dylan Larkin, and there'll always be room for those types of players if they're going to make your team significantly better, because at that point they're playing significant minutes and they're in the roles that they might be in GR. They're in the same roles with us, so then it makes a lot more sense. Ultimately, that's a conversation that I have with Steve Yzerman. That's conversations I used to have with Ken Holland, and the message is generally the same from the general managers. It's we're not going to have a young guy come in here and play 8 minutes. It doesn't make sense. So if you totally believe that he's somebody that's going to help you win and he's playing an important role, then a lot of times those players end up winning those spots. So there's always a lot that go into decisions. It's never as simple as one guy's just a tad bit better. You got to worry about your depth. You got to worry about the development of everybody. You got to worry about what's going to put your best team together for the opener against Tampa. Well, I would say, there's a lot of guys that can kind of play in the league and they kind of survive, and they go out shift by shift. Maybe they try to not let anything bad happen, and they don't really create a whole bunch positive. They're just kind of surviving, and I think that's although there's guys that end up in those spots that shouldn't be your young players. It doesn't make any sense to have them in a spot where they're just surviving. You want those types of players who you think can continue to grow as players to thrive. So to me, I think it's that difference, and I can't put a total finger on what's the difference between surviving and thriving. But you want to see guys that are thriving, see guys that are excelling. I made the joke that my wife should know that a player should make the team, and that's, again, not disrespectful to the fact that she doesn't know hockey. She knows hockey well enough, but she's not the intricacies of what I might. But it should be readily apparent to everybody out there from the impact they have on the game that they're going to be able to help the hockey team be a way better team. And if you just see a flash here and you're like, oh, he's a good skater, well, that's not good enough. I mean, the impact on the game is what matters the most. And again, are they thriving or are they kind of surviving? And obviously no decisions are as easy as that. There's a gray area in between that, and we got to kind of decide, are they in between there but they're just ready to thrive, or are they in between there and they're probably going to go down as the league ramps up a lot? And that's what we're paid to do to make those decisions.